I was introduced to Troy through a client, and I just happened to drive by his warehouse, and I noticed that he had all these big trucks and all these men in there working. And I was like, hey, with all those guys you have in there, how come you haven't found me a boyfriend? He texts Troy right away, and he's like, you have to go out with this girl. And he called me, and we talked for 2 nights.
Mm-hmm.
We told each other, like, all cards on the table, like, honest, raw. We met, and then we spent, like, I don't know, the first, like, week every day together. And we filled our jar with a bunch of destinations. Anything that's, like, 2 hours away from LA. And I was like, let's start this. And we pulled a destination out of a jar that we still have. And that's how we decide, like, to road trip. And that's kind of been our relationship, is all about being on the road and being on an adventure and getting out into the outdoors and just, like, away from the hustle and bustle of life.
She is more of a international traveler than I was, and I was more of a stateside traveler. And so when we met, we kind of like just mixed those two, I guess, traveling experiences together. Obviously, you have, you know, being outdoors, being in the nature, getting away from that city life of like the hustle and bustle of the sounds and, you know, everyday traffic, and it just makes you feel good. It's almost like recharging your batteries. Getting into all that, and I think that's where it finally came to the point of being like 38 years old and like, okay, I want to build a rig now. I wanted to have that experience of having a brand new car and building it from scratch. Okay, what platform are we gonna try? What are we gonna do? And for me, is because I drive so much yearly, I needed something that was gonna be a good daily driver, halfway decent on gas mileage, but still have that capability of being able to go off-road. I mean, maybe not like rock climbing or stuff like that, but off-road. And I've always followed Subaru from the teenage years of STIs and WRXs and stuff like that, and their all-wheel drive system. And I was like, you know what? Let's go to the dealership and check one of these out. At the time, we were talking to the sales agent, and he's like, with everything you want to do, you might want to wait because Subaru's releasing the new Outback Onyx Edition. That's going to be more rugged. It's going to have more power. And so we did. We waited. 6 months comes around, and our sales agent just gave us a call. Like, hey, it's in. Come test drive it.
We were the very first ones to get one.
And I think 3 weeks into that, we ended up starting to do a 4,800 mile road trip. And just like right out of the, I mean, I don't even think the car had 250 miles on it yet. The story that sticks out for me on the road would be last summer, actually, taking our daughter on a road trip. We traveled up through Utah. We did an off-road event in Salt Lake City, and then from there I decided to take her. We went over to Park City, did some mountain biking over there. She's an artist. She's a little digital artist, and that trip inspired her to make some like designs. And you know, she took her iPad out, and I was like, hey, draw me something that we could put on the car. I swear to you, 25, 30 minutes later, what about this? And I looked at it and I was like, holy cow, yeah, let's go with that. You know, no tweaking. So we did. We went to our local vinyl shop, and they cut it out and then wrapped the whole car. And
we get stopped more for the stickers on our car than anything, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. You know,
people are one of a kind.
People are asking, where'd you get that decal and how much was it? You know, and you come up with a story. It's, our daughter designed it actually, and her being 14 and a half years old now, you know, it's
pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. I think the other biggest thing for me would be trying to camp a little bit simpler, you know? You know, but that comes into like not necessarily being like minimalistic, but
minimalistic.
it does kind of like transfer over to living at home on a daily. Like, oh, you know what? I actually don't need half of this stuff, you know? And I guess that would be part of it too, is living a little bit simpler.
I think for us, the biggest impact of being part of the Overland community and being outside in nature is kind of taking care of Mother Earth and being more on the environmental side. One of the things that we noticed when we got to campgrounds was like how people weren't taking care of them. We would show up and we would realize that they were just like trashed
everywhere.
And then we started cleaning up. And so for us being outside, it wasn't a job for us to clean up other people's mess or just take care of our own.
You just wanted to do it.
We wanted to do it.
You just wanted to do it.
So we just became more involved in Mother Nature and just giving her love back.